Hey besties, welcome to Stoned and Horny, the podcast all about exploring and expanding your knowledge in sex and cannabis. We're your hosts, Merrrica and Hayley Herms, and joining us today is the beautiful Angela Mazzanti.
Hi! Yay!
Hello! Today we will be talking about cannabis and alcohol, and since it's the holidays, specifically during holiday family gatherings. And we'll also be talking about sex and marriage. If someone just got married.
I did. I just got married.
Congratulations!
Yay! Literally the craziest fucking cannabis wedding I've ever experienced.
You guys,
It was.
I mean, well, we won't spoil too
I have a
much.
vlog. On my way to her wedding, we hotboxed the car, and there's some shots from her wedding. So go to my YouTube channel if you want to see bits and pieces of that.
And then we'll get into the wedding, though, because the viewers need to know it was held at a dispensary. You know it's gonna get fucking
It was
lit.
litty.
And I'm sure there's a
Literally.
lot of things we didn't hear about. But welcome.
Do you want to talk about alcohol and cannabis and family gatherings first, or the sex and the marriage?
I say let's get into the sex and the marriage first.
Ooh, okay.
Let's jump right into it.
Do you use toys?
I don't, surprisingly. You would think a girl who like literally brings like dildos to like her clothing booth at like these festivals would like, you know, utilize some of them, but I don't know, toys just make me feel awkward. I guess because I haven't had enough like experience with it. And like I'm a very vanilla person, surprisingly.
That is surprising.
Have you ever taken the BDSM test?
No, I haven't.
Damn.
I feel like I need to.
You need to. I'd
Do you
love
have
to
more like top or bottom energy?
I guess it just depends. I feel like I can switch, but it's all like depending on the other person and like their vibe through it too. Because, you know, if somebody's like
You
not
give
a lot
me
of
top
energy,
on Instagram.
I can see that.
Like
I can
daddy.
switch. So
I loved when you were at your booth at one of the music festivals and like you deep throated a guy with like that penis squirt gun. It was fucking everything.
squirt gun.
Let
I was
me
like,
tell you,
Dom
literally,
energy.
people, the guys were coming up to us asking us to like deep throat them, like, because they were like, some people were trying to buy like the big pink dildo at the booth, and I was like, if you can fit this in your mouth or your ass up to the balls, you can have it. Like
Balls deep.
yeah, and not one of them. First of all, I don't think the guy should have tried to deep throat the squirt gun since, you know, it doesn't curve, and we were kind of like, oh fuck. Like
If you want to see what we're talking about, you can go to Angela Mazzanti's Instagram. Can you tell them what it is?
it is Angela_Mazzanti. You can also go to the WeedTube channel. I do have vlogs of a lot of the tours. Mind you, there are live buttholes on there. I'm really sorry if you're not prepared.
Live buttholes,
Live.
opposed to not live.
Let me tell you, seeing a random person's butthole in person, like spur of the moment, hits so much differently than like in a sexual
Do you
situation.
like just stare at it like just like to like acknowledge it, or is it just like a quick flash of the hole?
It's a quick flash because most people just want to like get it done and over with. But like we're very strict on like you have to bend over and like fully spread them. Like we have to see your butthole if you want. Like we
No
do like
cheek
free T-shirts
action.
or like free hats.
okay.
What does your husband think about you seeing buttholes?
I think he thinks I'm fucking crazy.
But he
like,
doesn't
"What?"
care.
No, he doesn't care. He's never been like, wow. I don't think he wants to go to any of my shows to see him.
Okay.
But
So this is a common, regular thing, the buttholes.
yeah, at the rock shows, we couldn't do it at Comic-Con because there was kids there.
Oh, okay, good.
But at any rock show, you will find us on the megaphone we have yelling, "Show me your butthole." And literally, I'm not kidding you. You would not think that so many people would be down for it. But like the second we start yelling that, we'll have like a line of fucking people.
More girls
ready.
or guys?
More guys.
Okay.
More guys for sure. Some girls are down, or like they'll offer to like show their titties, and I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm down with that. Just can't, you know, give them too
So
much
what do
away.
they get in return?
It's either like a hat or a T-shirt, but I actually just had T-shirts made that say on the back of them, I showed my butthole, and all I
Thank
got was
God.
this T-shirt. I love that.
Yes.
And the only way you can possibly get it is to show me your butthole.
Okay, so and then for the 11-inch pink dildos, those are for sale. You have those for sale?
So that was more of like a shock value with like the shows. Like
Okay.
we went to a random sex shop in like our town and we're like, what can we get to like, you know, draw people in? And then it turned into like, because at the shows it's really hard to like get people to come to your booth sometimes. Like people just walk and like they're like
They wanna see
browsing.
what's around. Yeah.
But like in Sacramento for Aftershock, like next to our booth, we had this little like pillar, and I stood on it and literally was like swinging this fucking dick around, like pointing it at people, like freeze and come on down and check out our booth. And like that got a lot of people like interested in like, what the fuck are you doing? I had like Instagram DMs that were like, oh, is the dildo lady gonna be there? Like,
yes! The dildo lady. Yes, we love a new identifier, the dildo lady.
The fact that it's either the dildo lady or the butthole lady for me, like I could not be happier.
Okay, I love that. So your husband. Oh my god.
Do you love being married?
It's different. I mean, it's honestly, it's different, but it's not different. Like a lot of people have been like, oh, so how's things in after the wedding? And like,
that was my cliche questions. Are things different now that it's official?
We've been together for like 6 years and lived together for like 5 of them. So like, I feel like really the first 3 years were like that honeymoonish phase. And then now it's just like, you know, back to like normal life. Although the wedding was one of the most stressful things I've ever been through. Do not ever want to have another
Did you have a wedding planner?
Towards the end, like for the most part, like we worked along with the dispensary,
Okay.
because like their marketing team was very hands-on and like getting everything done.
Love that.
And then day of, I had a wedding coordinator just to like not have any stress, because the amount of like questions people were asking me, and I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so that was enough. Highly recommend though, if you are getting married, hire a wedding planner.
Oh no, definitely. So what made you like? Okay. And we all know you're about the weed life, but like, were you definitely like when you were younger, did you think that you'd get married at a dispensary?
No.
And like, was that like one of your first, like, was that your idea or something someone approached you with and you're like, actually, that might be fucking cool?
So I've always loved the idea of like weed weddings.
Okay.
Because I've seen them like, you know, throughout like Instagram, like people do have like, you know, a joint bar at their wedding or like something like along the lines of weed related. But Empire actually approached me. We had gone to like a comedy night, me and Brandon, and like the comedians were making fun of us, like in a playful way, not like they were like, damn, this looks like your sub basically, like to Brandon, and like I'm the like dominant one.
Yeah.
And so they were making a lot of jokes, so they asked us like what our relationship status was, and we were like, well, we're engaged. And then Empire approached me like a week after, and they were like, how do you feel about doing a wedding in a dispensary? I went to Brandon. He's very like low key. Like if you know Brandon, he's super quiet. He definitely wanted more of like the quiet wedding, and originally we had planned that. And then when they came to this opportunity with me, I was like, if we don't fucking do this, like we're not getting married. You
By
can pay for the whole thing.
quiet, do you mean like small?
Yeah, more
Okay.
just like close friends and like family and like a small handful of people, and that's it.
How
Got
many
it.
people ended up coming to your wedding?
Probably like 100 to 150, because we had
Woo!
150 seats total. But then
Okay.
some people left like after the ceremony and were there for the reception, or like didn't make it to the ceremony and were there for the reception.
Okay. And how was
The wedding
of
was so beautiful and nice, and I got the pleasure to attend, and it was so awesome. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
And there was a whole bunch of weed. It was crazy. And
Was
you
there
looked
any
so
crazy
beautiful.
stories or like memorable moments? And like I want to ask the cliche question, because everyone assumes you have sex on your wedding night, but when you actually like here in the wedding industry, it's actually like majority of people aren't having sex on their wedding night because they get so fucked up. So like, okay, so how was the night?
We did fuck that night for sure. We got like a nice hotel room and like at the Mission Inn in Riverside, which is a gorgeous fucking hotel. We did fuck.
Did you drink?
No, I don't drink
Okay.
at all. So
And that's
he
why they
doesn't.
fucked.
He drank a little bit, but we like really didn't smoke that much through the night either. Like before we went to bed, we had a joint together.
I saw you smoke out of that big thing.
Yeah, but like that, I feel like that's not like a crazy amount for me. And like
Okay,
it
okay.
didn't hit that well. I was like, because like the thing that sucks about those big crazy joints is like when you're first starting them off,
It's
like,
all for show.
and it's just they're really hard to hit. Like it's hard to
You
pull.
got to get it cherry and
Okay.
then go in.
But then I was like, fuck, I don't want to hit this after like a lot of other people have started like to
Oh,
hit
yeah.
it. And I was just like, but we have the other one saved. So that way we can smoke it together.
Like on an anniversary or something.
I don't know if it'll last that long. So I'm like, maybe we should do that for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Not yet. We did get a trip to Seattle, which was like a nice little like break, and it was one of the gifts that we got from somebody.
Shout out to Seattle. That's
Shout
where
out to
I'm
Seattle.
from.
We love Seattle. I think that's the first place I met you. Actually, was in
It was
Seattle
from Steezy.
Yeah.
That little event that they had, their release party thing.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But we're going to Europe next year because I'm going for a tattoo convention. So it's like, just come with me. We'll spend a little bit more time out here because I don't want to sit on a 16-hour flight and then be gone after a weekend.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So,
Awesome.
speaking of parties and events, the holidays are coming up. You just said you don't drink at all, or you're just like, eh.
I'm 30 years old and I've never been drunk in my life.
Wow.
Like, I do not drink.
Oh my God.
I have not been drunk since 2017. So
Damn.
4 years.
Really?
Going on 5.
Not even in Mexico?
No, girl. I didn't have a drink there.
I gotta, what? Huh? Wow. Not even at the cabana?
No.
I'm shook. Okay, sorry.
Crazy.
Oh my God, we went to Mexico. I thought we were all just living our lives. Okay, I mean, I thought I was the least drinker there, but you didn't have anything. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I'm just shook right now. Anyways, so holidays. So your boyfriend or husband, he seldomly drinks. And so when you're at family event, how's your family? Are they big drinkers, pot smokers too?
Smokers.
Okay.
It's mainly like me and my mom and my sister. Predominantly cannabis. My sister drinks a little bit, but mainly with like her friends who also drink.
Okay.
But my mom doesn't drink either. She's allergic to alcohol, so she just like throws up the second she
That's
ingests
like what
anything.
happens to me pretty much.
Really?
Or I'll get like bright red. You know, like Asian people have that thing called Asian glow. Have you heard of that? Yeah. So I'll get like red and puke and die after just like one drink.
That's how my brother's girlfriend is. So since you guys smoke, has there ever been like an event you guys had and someone like got like way too fucking high?
Probably me.
Really?
Out of anything. Because Brandon just started smoking like a year or two ago. He was straight edge the
wow.
whole rest of our like really probably a year ago. I think he really started.
So what got him to smoke? Yeah, I mean you or like
I think kind of me, but like not. He said that he was like, how the fuck is she always so happy and like always in a good mood all the time? Maybe I need to see what this is all about. And then he's been to so many like different weed things with me. He was probably just like, all right, I guess it's finally time to try. Like, why am I being so closed off to this?
So how was his first time?
Okay. I didn't find out till 3 months after he had tried it that he had tried it. Don't know why he kept it from me that long.
You weren't there?
I wasn't there because he said he did not want his first experience
in case it
to
was
be with
embarrassing.
anybody to like, you know, give somebody the satisfaction of like, yeah, I got you high for the first time.
Oh, he's
So
one
he
of
did it by
those.
himself.
By him fucking self.
What the fuck?
And like I have a bunch of like huge zongs. So first he tries to like I guess he tried to hit his stizzy like 5 times and was like, oh, I'm not like feeling anything yet. And then hit one of my bongs that's like this tall and it's a zong. So technically it's like taller because of the kinks in it.
Mm-hmm.
And my roommates had like their computers out in like the living room area of our house. And we were out in Vegas for an event for like Champs, I think. And he said he got so high that he thought the cameras were watching him, that we would be able to see him and that we were watching him at home, that we would be able to see that he was high and be like, why the fuck are you running around the house with my bong? And he was like freaking out. And then I guess he just like went in the garage and did like whatever man shit he does to like
Calm down.
yeah,
and
to calm
chill
down
out.
and like regulate until he was like, all right, I'm fucking not.
So overall, was
Sounds
it a
like the first
positive
time.
experience or not?
It must have been somewhat positive because
'Cause
he's
he-
still doing it.
Okay, wait.
Smoking. Brandon.
ADHD. Okay, that sounds like your classic first time because like the first time I like hit a bong, I thought, and it was around Christmas time. What an appropriate story. I'm going to actually share this.
Let's hear it.
So it was with like all my brother's friends. He's 3 years older than me, so I always had like really older friends. And we're all sitting in a car, 3 of us in the back, 2 in the front, you know, we're like hotboxing. I've said this before on the show. I'm not a big fan of hotboxing because I feel like it breaks out my skin. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy. But I didn't know this yet, right? So we get in the car and they're like, "Oh, we're going to pack a bowl," right? One bowl goes around. I'm like, "Holy fuck." And I just was like, "Oh my God." And this was just like a shared bowl amongst 5 people because, you know, back
like
when,
a pipe?
No, a full like bong situation. It was a bit like one of those big ones, but like either way, like I had never ripped on a bong before, and like the couple times I had tried weed before this, I didn't really like feel it.
Did they like give you instructions on how to hit it, or did they?
Were you just kind of like watching everybody and like, okay, that's how I got to do it?
3 dudes and 1 girl. The dudes were like, "Yo, go for it, man," and like they like didn't give a shit. So then they're like, I remember just being in there like, oh my god. And they're like, let's do another one. And I was like, I gotta be cool.
I can't act like no bitch.
Literally. So I was like, okay, yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. So then another one goes by. I remember like I hit it, I passed it, I like threw up in my mouth and I swallowed it.
Oh no!
And they're like, damn man, like it's so milky in here. And then they're like, let's do a third one. And I was like, oh my God. So I like barely survived, and I take this third one, and they're like, we're gonna sit here for a second, maybe we'll take a 4. I was like, you guys, I need to get some air. Like the third one was like it. Like I was like, I don't care.
I don't even know how you got through the third one after throwing up in your mouth for the second one.
Yeah, girl.
I really was like, I gotta be a trooper.
I got shit to prove.
Literally. And so I was like, okay. So I remember I get out of I was holding on to the car. Like I couldn't stand, girl. It was like full cripple moment. And like I was holding on to the car, and I remember it was around Christmas time, and I looked up and there was just this like shining star. And then there was like this big green, like, cause it was Christmas decorations, like shining. And I was like, that's the Star of Bethlehem. And like I genuinely thought like I knew where Christ was gonna be like reborn. He's coming again.
Resurrected.
If you don't know, I was like raised a Catholic.
Me too.
Okay, so because one time my friend was like, "What's Bethlehem?" And
Literally
I was like,
me. I'm like, what's Bethlehem?
Literally. So Bethlehem is like where Christ was born, and like the whole tale is like the 3 wise men saw this star and followed it through the goddamn desert, and were like, this is Christ. Like they just knew.
Frankincense, myrrh, and gold to give to Jesus.
And so it was like a whole thing. So I dead ass was like, I'm seeing the Star of Bethlehem right now, and like Christ is coming again. So after that like realization, I was like, I gotta get inside near the Christmas tree. So like I like stumbled in, don't know how I got in there, and I just like collapsed on like the floor next to the Christmas tree. And I just like I couldn't get up. Like for the life of me, I could not control my body.
When I first used to smoke, I would feel that way. Like you can't control your body, like a little like kind of drunk, I guess.
Yeah.
And then not able to drive, like do anything.
It kind of felt acidy. Like in my head, so then finally when I was on the floor, I was like seeing shapes in my brain, and like so then they finally all come in at one point, and I'm like still on the floor.
Oh no.
And like, but they're all so fucked up too. They don't really give a fuck. They're like, oh, you know what I mean? And I literally, like, I'm like so not being dramatic when I say I was like grasping at a table and chairs and like doing anything to lift up my body. And then, I don't know, the night ended me and like one of my brother's friends having like a heart-to-heart at a table about how he hasn't had his dick sucked in like 5 months. And so I was like, what? You're gonna find love again.
You can
fucked up.
do it.
Like, yeah. So that was, yeah. I really feel Brandon. I really felt him. I feel that story. So, but okay, wait. Circle back to our main point though to bring this up. So how did you get too fucked up at a holiday gathering, like 2 weeks, or you don't have a specific story?
So there was one specific time. This was like when I was like a bit younger. I had like a group of guy friends that like I would always like hang out with and smoke.
It's always the guys.
It's always the guys. And like my friend Zach had a car that was like not working or anything. It was like one of those old like hoopty cars that like just literally sat out in their fucking driveway, and it was like one of the smoking spots because his mom also let us use like his garage. Well, we decided to each roll a blunt, and there was 5 of us. And like back in the time, like swishers were big, so like everybody's rolling a swisher blunt, and like all 5 of us get in that fucking car. And I'm pretty sure it was around the holidays because I remember it being really fucking cold outside. And all of us light up our blunts at the same time, and the worst hot box I've ever been in, to the point where like my eyes were watering. I was like I'm gonna fucking die
like
in here.
Did you throw up?
You can't breathe. I didn't throw up, but I it was one of those points where your mouth gets like watery and you think you're gonna throw up, but it's also like, I'm the only girl here. I can't bitch out. You gotta sit through this. And then the second, I think I was the first one to break the seal, but I was like, at this point, I don't care. Like, I can't even open my eyes because like this is bad. I don't remember the rest of the night from my recollection, but more than likely, I probably went home and my mom was already probably high too, so she probably made me food.
That's what a great mother.
Right?
Okay, Merrrica, speaking of mothers and the holidays,
Oh,
you
yeah.
always go home for the
Yes.
holidays. And if you don't know, we've talked about it before. Your mom smokes weed. So have you and
I don't
or your
think
mother
she
ever
smokes
got too
regularly. She
Oh,
only
no.
smokes when
with
like
you?
exactly if she's too scared to do it on her own. She doesn't know if she's doing it right, you know.
Oh my god, that's so
So when
cute.
I'm there, I'll offer her like to hit my vape or to like eat some edibles. She'll eat edibles on her own because those are like not intimidating.
So, well, what? That's interesting because I
Yeah.
feel like edibles are more intimidating.
Like the
Yeah.
fact that you just eat it is less intimidating than smoking, the act of
Oh,
smoking. Because my mom's like
interesting.
straight edge, like never smoked a cigarette type situation, you know.
Wow.
I've never smoked a cigarette either.
Same.
So
But I grew up with parents that smoked cigarettes, so for me it was like a big like, I don't want to do that shit.
I was the same way, and then I got really into punk rock, and we'd go to the shows,
Mm.
and I don't. Did you grow up in California?
I did.
So do
and
you
in
know
the,
Chain Reaction?
yeah.
So we're all at Chain Reaction.
Everybody goes outside and
You're
smokes.
chain smoking, and so like I was like, I'm gonna be cool, and for like 6 months, me and my best friend were like certified chain smokers. We had like 4 different brands of like cigs, so that like no matter what kind of punk rock person came up to us, we had the cig for them, so like we
They're
couldn't
like,
be
"Damn."
judged because you had the wrong cigarette at a punk show.
You're like, wow, you're really smoking that?
Yes, and like I like the natives, and like, oh no, so I had to carry a pack of Reds, a Marlboro, whatever. But then eventually we're like, no, if I ever get cancer, I know this is dark humor, but it's gonna be from those 6 months that I was a chain smoker at Chain Reaction. But anyways, so okay,
yeah, so my
Your
mom,
mother-
holiday gatherings. My dad.
she ever
is
get
super
too
straight
high?
edge. Yeah, like
What
when I give her
happened?
edibles, there was this 100 milligram edible that was just one big gummy, and you had to like dose it out yourself, like bite on however much you want. And she took a huge bite of more than half of
no.
it,
Oh,
and she's like 5
no.
feet tall and really
Literally.
tiny. So after an hour or two, she was feeling it, but she just like ended up taking a nap and dancing around and like being happy and funny.
she just like she let no qualms, no worries, no
worries,
anxiety.
no
Like, she's
anxiety.
like, I need to go
She's
sleep this
great.
off.
I want to be your mom. Like, that's the best. Okay, so
Yeah.
was there ever a holiday gathering where you got to like high or drunk or something?
Well, before my parents knew that I do cannabis as a career,
okay.
I would have to like hide it when I smoke, especially during gatherings. But I always had my older brother, who's 4 years older than me, to like smoke with, like go for a walk, or like now we just will like hit our vapes discreetly, because still, even
Beautiful.
though my parents know I smoke weed, I still want to be like respectful and not like smell like weed or anything like that around them, unless like I'm token with my mom.
I'll do the smell. I don't mind smelling like weed, but I just like I like it's respectful. You don't want their house because their
Exactly.
furniture, and so it's a respectful thing to do. But so you like were hiding it and you got too high, or just like
Oh
you
yeah,
were
like
being
when I'm near
discreet?
I feel like when I'm trying to act sober is when I get
It's
extra
like
high.
even worse.
Yes.
You're like, oh hi,
Literally.
You're like, are my eyes open?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and like
Do I
my
smell like
dad
weed?
will judge. I feel like he's always judging us.
So
And-
he knows.
well, I don't
Maybe-
know if he knows, but I know like I'm just scared.
Maybe he's jealous he's not part of the fun and he feels like he has to supervise. Do you think he'd ever cave and do it once?
I think once he retires, like next year or so, he might try.
Is he scared like because of his job or?
He's scared of that. He's
Oh.
always been a corporate guy his whole life,
I think that's why my mom like hid from me that she smoked weed, because she didn't want anyone at her work to know. And like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, you never think about it, but your parents also like feel judged by their peers and society.
Especially
and
like
stuff.
with a the age that they grew up in, like just the generation in
the
general.
war on drugs when they were growing up.
And they're not used to the internet, so now like you can easily like Google someone, and with kids these days blasting their parents on like TikTok, and it's funny, but I'm sure like a lot of us don't think about like, oh, this could get like my parent fired.
My mom gets afraid because my mom doesn't work anymore, but she sometimes gets afraid that me saying stuff on like podcasts or videos or something, she's like, the government's gonna find out that like I do it and then this and that. And I'm like, Mom, like nobody cares. Literally nobody
It's
cares.
legal now.
It's like different if we like hashtagged her name in the comment section. But
post it on LinkedIn.
yeah, no, exactly.
My mom barely even knows how to use a computer, so thank God.
Okay, so that's good
Same.
for her. She's not in a career where they would constantly
She literally has a
Google her.
trap phone. Like
a Nokia.
Yeah, but like turns it on and off whenever she needs to use it. Like,
they did back in the day.
Yeah, she's like, but my minutes and this and that, and I'm like, what if I need to call you like and you're out and about? And because she has a landline too, of course, but
Oh, the landline.
Yeah.
We love a landline.
with the answering machine and everything.
And is she like, oh, if it was important, someone would leave a
Yep.
voicemail? Same with my mom.
Yep.
I definitely get that. Oh my God. Well, I mean, I feel like at my family gatherings, like the male cousins smoke weed. However, like I always like my family like they're like shamers of it. I don't see them anymore, so it doesn't matter. But like back in the day, like we would go out, we'd do the cousin walk and smoke, but then they'd come back and they'd look at me and they're like, "Oh, you smell," but like no one
The
else.
guys know.
But the guys are untouchable and they're like, and like and then they like look at you and like anything you do wrong, they're like, "Oh, is that the weed?
Yes,
because you're high.
Feeling funny there," which is ironic because usually like when I'm sober, people think I'm high, and then when I'm high, people think I'm sober. So it's like really interesting. I'm like, no, I'm just chilling. Like but now with vapes, it's so much better. You know what I mean? So I love that, but especially during the holidays, I feel like I've never like been a big drinker either. Like you're not, so you've never been drunk.
I've been drunk before, many times,
but like younger.
But in 2017, I had a 420 party, on 420, and some reason I just decided to get really drunk instead of just smoking, and I ended up like puking everywhere and like not even being able to like hang out at my own party. And at that moment, I was like, dude, I'm never drinking again.
Yeah, I had a birthday party where like my friend like rented out a mansion once, like years back, and I got so fucked up in the pre-gaming, I like lasted 2 hours, and then they lifted me home. And everyone else enjoyed the party, but I heard my birthday party was really lit, so like as long as everyone else had fun
Then
and
we're
like
good.
you know, there's only one person that got kicked out, cops only came once, left, the party was still
I
turned.
don't miss alcohol at all either. Like I literally probably won't ever drink it.
I hate
it. Just tastes bad too.
Well, I just hate the feeling when you wake up in the morning and you're just kind of like, you have to kind of retrace of like, was there something horrible I did? You know what I mean? Did I say something like crazy?
I've never been that drunk.
Like blackout drunk?
I've never blacked out before from drinking. Yeah.
Have you ever Oh no!
I've never been drunk, so I don't know.
Oh my God, I feel like such a sinner.
Shame.
A
Just
sinner.
kidding.
Shame.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we won't get into my blackout stories.
It was funny though. The bachelorette, we did a bachelorette party, and like everyone else was super fucked up, but like Brandon got fucked up because we went back, but I didn't know like how much he drank until we got back to the hotel, and he was like, "It is spinning right now," and I was like,
had you ever seen him drunk?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that was the first time.
And and we went to a strip club that night too. He got his first lap dance right next to me.
Was he one of those that was like, was he like blushing?
He
and,
was
like,
literally
super,
like this the whole fucking time. And then like there was two girls like both dance. One of them was dancing on me, and then one of them was dancing on him. Because I was trying to find him like a big booty like tattooed girl in the club. There was none. So I found this girl who was really good at like dancing and like just doing like the crazy tricks. And I was like, I want you to go fucking crazy and like give him the best experience.
Split on him.
And poor Brandon's just sitting there like, fucking, please help me. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, was just trying to hold in, like, not laughing too, because he was like, this is so awkward for me.
Oh my God. So he's definitely straight edge kind of guy. Can I ask, what's his birthday? What's his sign?
He's an Aquarius.
Oh, I have a crush on an Aquarius.
Aquarius are really, so far, my whole experience with him, Aquarius are good men. They're just not good at showing their feelings.
Okay, so that was my question. Did you Merrrica knows the Aquarius, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. But what is the key to their heart? Like, did you have to make the first move?
Yes. Yes, I definitely did.
Kill me.
It sucks, but like, you know, there's a lot of good qualities about them still. They're very loyal.
Can I ask how that worked out? Like, how did you like make your first move?
So technically the first move was on Tinder. I was the first one who messaged him. And then when we were actually like hanging out, like I invited him back because he came on his motorcycle, picked me up. We went to the beach.
Ooh.
Super cute. Probably not the safest bet to like invite a random guy late at night on a motorcycle to come pick you up, but you know, it worked out.
Yes.
So we're good. But we were like laying on my bed watching a movie, and I think I went in to kiss him. But I've always been that type of like more aggressive, assertive person. Like even when I was like in like dating and everything, I would always be like the one who, if I see a hot guy, like, hey, what's your number? Like,
see, I don't think you're
think
as
guys are
vanilla as you
scared.
think you are.
in the bedroom maybe a little bit, but like in like general.
What's your favorite position?
missionary?
See, good
We had
news
a sex
is,
therapist on the show.
Okay.
and she said missionary.
Is the best position, like the most intimate.
Yeah,
and you can
because
get
you're
the
right
most
there.
deep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hand holding, the eyesight.
and you can
everything.
do different variations.
So when he proposed, first of all, the proposal situation, what was that like?
So cute. So we'd been in Hawaii. It was our first like trip to Hawaii together. And we'd gone on a couple hikes. Like every morning we would start the morning out, like go on a hike in the morning for sunrise and then like go eat and then go to the beach, or like we had like little days planned out. Well, we went on one sunrise hike to like watch the sunrise, and it was like one of the last days we were there. We were trying to get down to these tide pools, but I was being a pussy because I was like, this isn't safe and I don't want to fucking fall here. And so we stopped at just like this one lookout point, and then he got on one knee and was like, will you marry me? And I started fucking bawling the second he did it. I was
So
like,
you had no idea.
I did, because I had definitely been like, if we don't leave here and have a ring on my finger, like, it'd kind of suck. Like, what a better place to do it.
Okay. So
And I guess the whole time he was like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'll do it.
okay. So, but he already had the ring. It was like
He was
there.
trying to like hide it. There was one point, one of the days we went out, we were going on a beach for sunrise or whatever, and like, but as we were coming down to the beach, I fucking slipped and ate shit like really bad. And he was like, I can't propose now, like right after that happens. I ate shit hard too.
I'm so sorry.
Damn.
I'm so sorry. So, like, how long had you guys been together when he engaged?
When he proposed.
Yeah, there we go.
I think it's like about 3.5 years.
Okay, and you knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
This probably within the first year of like dating Brandon, I was like, yeah, I think this is the one. Like,
So you were engaged for 3 years.
I think it came out to about 2 with
Okay.
the time length that he proposed and everything. Because he proposed in September, we got married in October, so it was about 2 years of being engaged.
Okay. Because I feel like these days, like, engagements, like, they can either go so fast or slow. Were you one of those people when you got engaged, you were literally like, I got it tomorrow, call the
No.
wedding planner.
God,
and like,
no.
I guess, like, when did you start planning the wedding?
Maybe like a year-ish to a couple months before. I would
Okay.
recommend like a year for planning, like depending how intense you want to go with it, just to be safe, because like, you know, you're better off like planning more ahead of time than
Yeah.
not. And like then with COVID and everything, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
Did you have to push back your wedding or you guys stayed?
we stayed because it kind of just came about like at the right time. But we were very big on like, we didn't want to have like a COVID wedding with like masks and all this shit. And
Yeah.
obviously with smoking, you can't.
Exactly. That's a lot. But oh my God, I love that for you. So then okay, so you guys had sex on your wedding night and all of that, the marriage stuff. And we were talking about that. But clichely, do you think like the sex or anything is like different now that you're married? It's just like same old, same old. Nothing's changed.
old.
Okay. And so for all our like engaged or newly, like can you give them like 3 tips of like just like marriage and like engagement?
So there's a couple books. There's one book in particular I highly recommend people read, and it's The 5 Love Languages, because I think it's so important that you know your partner's love language.
Oh.
And it's crazy because his is physical touch and mine's acts of service.
Me too.
Hell yeah. and I'm like not like a touchy person either, so it's kind of hard, but like just like knowing like what your partner likes, like how they like to be shown love is like very, very important. And I think somebody also gave us a book called His Needs and Her Needs. He's been reading it. Because he's very into like reading. He'll like tell me like what books to read or like what I should check out. So there's a lot of good things in those two books. So I think just like obviously communication, as with any relationship, and just keeping that spark alive, like still doing things like for yourself. Like it's easy to like get wrapped up in like the busyness of life, but still taking that time for your partner, no matter how many years it's been.
What are some like fun ways you like spark or spice?
I don't know. I mean, I like going on random trips together and like just being spontaneous, or like, oh, let's go down to the beach and do something, or like let's go on a bike ride together, like making sure I take like the time to go do things together.
Oh, I love
After 6 years of being together, do you guys like have to plan having sex, or is it just like a spontaneous thing? Because I know lots of couples like have to plan that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just very spontaneous. Because we're home together most nights, aside from when I'm like out on the road, but
And
still spice it.
Does he ever come on the road with you, or does he mind or at all or anything?
He doesn't normally come on the road, just because he does have like his own like life and his own job and everything. And like I think it's very good for couples still to, even no matter how long you've been together, like still separate at times. Like, you know, that break is nice because it gives us time to miss each other, and then when we get back, it's like, you know, after not being with each other for so long. Because there was a period where I was gone for like a month, just out on the road, like show after show. And
wow.
Like even it sucks because like I didn't realize how intense tour is going to be with like even just texting somebody back or like calling somebody. Like
Insane.
Sometimes there'd only be like 20 minutes where I'm like, hey, like I'm also 3 hours ahead of you in time. Like I got to go to bed. Like we got to wake up hella early. And it's just a lot throughout the day. Plus you're like talking to people all day. So...
Does he ever get like jealous or like being on the road or anything?
No, he's so fucking good with like trusting and like just letting me do my own thing, which is so rare to find in a partner, especially when like, you know, you guys know we do what we do. Like,
do people ever, that was the next question, do people who ever overstep their boundaries even though knowing you're like a married woman?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think a lot of the time they know I'm married, but like definitely still like getting hit on at like things. But I feel like once people know I'm married, they're pretty like...
That's good. You got to be like respectful of all of that and where you're going.
Yeah.
So your 3 tips are a couple of those books, and then spontaneity, and keeping like, you know, that time together. And then what's the third one? Did I
guess just like giving each other time to miss each other.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, like you should still go do things with your friends and like still go off and like have your own life. Like just because you're in a relationship with somebody doesn't mean like you have to do everything with that person. Like,
yeah. Okay, so we have married, relationship, single. Merrrica, let's hear 3 tips from you. How do you like, what's some fun like tips for people dating who you're in a serious relationship?
I would say just like try new things together.
Spontaneity. Okay.
yeah.
Seems like that's a good common theme. Is there anything you guys do? Like, do you guys have any like not like traditions, but like, we
always go to the gym together.
Okay.
We like to shower together. Is that weird?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I love showering with my man.
Okay. I had to be cliche. Is it ever like the movies? Does he wash your hair?
He'll like wash my back and like give me a rub.
Because I saw Sex in the City. Steve was washing Miranda's hair, and I was like, "Do guys do that? Is that a real thing?" Oh, the assistant says
That's
yes.
cute. That's so sweet.
Okay. I have no advice for you guys because I'm single. So, by choice though. But on that note, thank you so much, Angela, for being here today. Can you just plug anything and everything you want to plug? Tell us where we can find you, watch you, you know, what the internet does.
Well, you can find me easily by searching Angela_Mazzanti on Instagram. Highly recommend also checking out my clothing brand, Nowhere Fast, because next year is going to be full of touring the United States and hopefully more. And yeah, follow me on WeedTube. I've got all my tour vlogs on there, and that's about it.
That's so dope. Does WeedTube have an app?
Yes, they do. They have
Okay.
an app. They just released messaging too, so now you can message, and it's all friendly cannabis content.
I love that. And it's only cannabis content.
My page definitely isn't only cannabis content, but like I think most of the people who make videos on there, it's all very cannabis based.
And that's where we can see the buttholes.
Yes, you can see buttholes on my WeedTube.
Oh, dope. Sorry, one more question about the WeedTube. Do you have to have, like, is it a monthly membership or
No,
like?
just like YouTube, like so WeedTube basically started because like they were so tired of content creators getting fucking deleted on YouTube, and like it's hard to find spaces where you can find cannabis friendly long form content.
Yeah.
So it's a really good app to check out. Highly recommend, especially if you are into like making cannabis content. It's a great platform.
I fucking love that. Okay, dope. And then I also, before we want to go out, we want to say, okay, we love you guys, but we also want to mention, before we mention our sponsor, this is our last episode of the season.
It's our last episode of the season.
Can you guys believe it's been 12 whole episodes?
That's insane.
So if you guys, if you're just watching this episode, make sure that you go watch all 11 other episodes we have. You can watch them on YouTube. You can join the conversation on our Instagram, Stoned and Horny Podcast. We have our website.
It's on Spotify,
Apple. Yeah, and a little birdie told me we have merch coming soon.
Ooh.
So I am so excited. So just because, you know, we're in between seasons and everything doesn't mean that the content's going to stop. Keep going to the conversation. Keep a lookout for the merch. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you again so much. You guys are watching Stoned and Horny, and we will, I guess, see you for season 2.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.